Hello everyone, and welcome. Today we are going to be taking a look at a really useful feature in Python called Lambda functions. So what exactly are they? Well, at their core, Lambda functions are small, anonymous functions. The term anonymous simply means that they don't have a name like a regular function that you would define using the def keyword. They are designed to be temporary and are often used for short, simple operations where defining a full-fledged function would be overkill. Think of them as a convenient shortcut for creating a function on the fly, right where you need it, without cluttering your code with formal function definitions that you might only use once. The name Lambda comes from lambda calculus, a formal system in mathematical logic for expressing computation based on function abstraction and application. You don't need to be a math expert to use them though. In Python, the concept is much simpler. A lambda function is defined using the lambda keyword. The syntax is straightforward. Lambda arguments, media group, close-up of Python code showing lambda arguments, :expression syntax, code documentation site with Python lambda syntax at stock at distribute_equally, expression. You list the arguments your function will take, followed by a colon, and then the single expression that the function will evaluate and return. This structure makes them incredibly compact and perfect for situations where you need a quick throwaway function to pass as an argument to another, higher-order function. Let's look at a very simple example to see this in action. Imagine you need a function that adds two numbers. Normally, you might write def add on x, y. Media group, side-by-side code comparison, showing def add x, y, return x plus y and lambda alternative. Python code on laptop with addition function at stock and at distribute_equally, return x plus y. With a lambda function, you can achieve the exact same result in a single line. Media group, image of code snippet showing lambda versus def for addition task. Developer highlighting single line Python lambda function at stock at distribute_equally. Add =sign lambda x y x plus y. Here x and y are the arguments, and x plus y is the expression that gets evaluated and returned. You can then call this just like a regular function, for instance, by running print add 5, 3, which would output 8. It's a clean, concise way to define a simple operation without the ceremony of a full def statement. The main takeaway here is that lambda functions are not meant to replace all regular functions. They have a specific purpose. They are best suited for situations that require a simple, single expression function that you don't intend to reuse elsewhere in your program. Because they are anonymous by nature, they help keep your code clean by avoiding the need to come up with names for many small, single-use functions. This is particularly valuable when you're working with functions that take other functions as arguments, which is a common pattern in data analysis and functional programming paradigms, as we will explore in the next sections. Now, let's dive a little deeper and directly compare lambda functions with regular functions defined using the def keyword. The most obvious difference is syntax. A regular function is defined with def function name arguments, followed by an indented block of code that can contain multiple statements and must have an explicit return statement to send a value back. In contrast, a lambda function is defined with lambda arguments, expression. It is restricted to a single expression, and the result of that expression is implicitly returned. You don't need to write the return keyword, which contributes to its brevity and makes it ideal for inline use. Another key distinction is that regular functions must have a name. This name is how you reference and call the function throughout your code. Lambda functions, on the other hand, are anonymous. While you can assign a lambda to a variable, as we did with add =lambda x, yx plus y, this is generally considered bad practice by Python style guides like pp8. The primary purpose of a lambda is to be used immediately, without being assigned a name. This is why you'll often see them passed directly as arguments to other functions, making the code more self-contained and readable at the point of use. The scope of what you can do inside each type of function also differs significantly. A regular def function can contain any number of statements, including media group, Python function with loops and conditionals displayed on screen, developer writing multi-line function in IDE at stock, at distribute_equally, loops, conditional if-else blocks, try-except blocks, and more. It's a fully featured block of code. A lambda function is much more limited. It can only contain a single expression. You cannot include statements like assignments, loops, or even a simple print call within a Lambda's body. This limitation is intentional. It ensures that Lambdas remain simple and are used for their intended purpose of performing a quick single action. So when should you choose one over the other? The rule of thumb is simple. If your function requires multiple lines of logic, complex operations, or needs to be reused in several places, always use a regular def function. It's more readable, easier to debug, and allows for proper documentation with docstrings. Use a Lambda function when you need a short, simple one-off function, especially when you are passing it as an argument to a higher-order function like map, filter, or sorted. In these cases, a Lambda can make your code more concise and easier to understand by keeping the logic close to where it's being used. One of the most common and powerful use cases for Lambda functions is in data manipulation, particularly when working with lists, dictionaries, and data frames. Python has several built-in higher-order functions that are designed to operate on iterables, and these functions are perfect candidates for using Lambdas. Let's start with the map function. Map applies a given function to every item of an iterable, like a list, and returns a map object, which can be converted into a new list. For example, if we have a list of numbers and want to square each one, we can do it concisely with nums equals 1, 2, 3, 4. Squared nums equals list of map, lambda x to the power of 2 nums. Next up is the filter function. As its name suggests, filter constructs an iterator from elements of an iterable for which a function returns true. It allows you to filter out elements based on a condition. For instance, if we wanted to get only the even numbers from our list, we could write even nums equals list of filter, lambda x modulo 2 equals 0 nums. The lambda function, lambda x modulo 2 equals 0, is applied to each number. It returns true if the number is even and false otherwise. The filter function then collects only those items for which the lambda returned true, giving us a clean and readable way to perform this filtering operation. Another extremely useful application is with the sorted function, or the sort list method. These functions can take an optional key argument, which is a function that provides a custom sorting logic. Let's say we have a list of tuples, where each tuple represents a product and its price, like apple 2, banana 1, orange 3. If we want to sort this list based on the price, the second element of each tuple, a lambda function is perfect for the job. We could write sorted products equals sorted products, key equals lambda item at index 1. The lambda tells the sorted function to look at the second element of each tuple when comparing items. These examples from data analytics highlight the primary strength of lambda functions. They allow you to define the specific logic for mapping, filtering, or sorting right at the point where you need it. This avoids the need to define separate named functions like getPrice or is even elsewhere in your code, which would be less efficient for such simple single-use tasks. By using a lambda, the code becomes more compact and, in many cases, more readable because the operation being performed is immediately visible next to the data it's acting upon. This is a pattern you will see constantly in data processing scripts and notebooks. Beyond these basic built-in functions, lambdas are extensively used in popular data science libraries like pandas and scikit-learn. In pandas, for example, the apply method is often used to apply a function along an axis of a data frame. Imagine you have a data frame with a date column stored as strings, and you need to extract the year. You could use a lambda function to do this efficiently across the entire column, data frame at year equals data frame at date.apply lambda date string. Int of date string split by dash at index 0. This one-liner creates a new year column by applying a simple string splitting and conversion logic to each date. It's a powerful and common pattern for feature engineering. In the realm of machine learning, lambda functions are frequently used for data preprocessing and transformation steps. For instance, when building a machine learning pipeline with scikit-learn, you might need to create custom transformers. A function transformer can be used to apply a stateless transformation to your data, and lambda functions are perfect for defining this transformation. If you needed to apply a log transformation to a feature to normalize its distribution, you could create a transformer like log transformer equals function transformer lambda x, numpy log 1p of x. This makes your pre-processing steps concise and integrates them smoothly into your overall model pipeline. Let's consider a real-world example to see how a lambda can make code shorter and clearer. Suppose you have a list of dictionaries, each representing a person with a name and age. People equals name Alice, age 30, name Bob, age 25, name Charlie, age 35. If you want to find the name of the oldest person, you could use the max function with a custom key. The code would be oldest person equals max people, key equals lambda person, person at age. This is incredibly expressive. It clearly states, find the maximum item in the people list, using the age value of each dictionary as the basis for comparison. Writing a separate name function for this would be unnecessarily verbose. In conclusion, mastering Lambda functions is a significant step forward for anyone working with data in Python. They're not just a syntactic curiosity, they're a practical tool that promotes a more functional style of coding. By learning to use them effectively with functions like map, filter, sorted, and methods like pandas apply, you can write code that is more concise, more readable, and often more efficient. This skill allows you to express complex data transformations and manipulations in a clean and elegant way, which is invaluable in the fields of data analytics, data science, and machine learning, helping you to work with data more fluently and effectively.